I think that being born as a woman has been the most fortunate event in my life. If given a chance, I would definitely want to be a woman again and again and again. Because, as Maya Angelou said, every woman is phenomenally a wonderful woman. And to lead this life, which is so colorful by nature for a woman, is simply a joy and an honor. It's been a great opportunity to meet and to be groomed by some phenomenal women in my life too. And every woman I meet day after day has proven to be more phenomenal than the other. In our own little ways, we all are actually extremely strong women. It's just that sometimes we fail to recognize it ourselves. Let me tell you about one phenomenal woman who has probably influenced me the most in my life. Mrs. Subbalakshmi, my grandmother. She is no longer with me in person today, but the spirit and the strength she has helped nurture, not just in me, but in every single woman she has met throughout her life, still lives on in spirit in this world. Born in a rural village in Tirunelveli, she grew up to be a very energetic and smart and intelligent girl for her age, and came out with flying colors in all her examinations in school. And when she reached ESLC, the then school leaving certificate examination, she topped her district, not just her school. But at that juncture, when she had attained puberty, her father restricted her and stopped her from studying further. A visibly disappointed and annoyed Subbalakshmi told her father and fought for her rights to study. Despite her efforts, she could not succeed in her protest and could not continue her higher studies. But she said that I want to register my protest for this unfair action from the part of my father. And she decided to not collect her ESLC certificate even. She decided not to go to that school to her felicitation ceremony that year. That was her way of silently protesting against the injustice meted out to her. In today's age and era, this story might not inspire a lot of people because it is a very muted and it's a silent form of protest as you might see it. But imagine nearly a century ago this happening. And it was not just her. There were hundreds and thousands and millions of girls in our country and across the globe who had to face such restrictions and who probably did not even realize that they were meted out with injustice. So that young age, nearly a century ago, my grandmother realized that it was completely unfair that she was not allowed to pursue her higher education, and she decided to register her protest in the most peaceful manner possible and known to her at that age and era. And she would proudly tell me that story when I was a child and inspire me to study further and to study as much as I wanted. And even when the rest of the society would say that she has finished her MBBS, she has a job, and now she has to get married, and now she has to get settled down, and why let her get into civil services, and that's a very uncertain domain, and age is rolling over, and why you're not getting her married off. All sorts of comments and criticisms get bombarded at you, and I was no exception to that as a woman in this society. When all that happened, as the eldermost member of the family, my grandmother gave her wise counsel to my parents and to me and to everybody who actually bothered about my life at that point of time. She said that let her study, let her achieve her ambitions, let her reach her goal. Do not restrict her in any form. Be it marriage, be it a compulsion to do something else, be it a limitation to travel, whatever be the restriction, lift that off her and let her study. Having that sort of strength and wisdom emanate from your own family is definitely a blessing. And I sincerely hope and pray that there is somebody in each one of your family who can inspire your children to study and to lift off the restrictions from your girls and everybody in your family.